Well, hello, artist. Today is day 2 of our Da Vinci flying machines. I am super excited to show you the last step. So step 2 of our Da Vinci machines is to add all those fun features and details to our flying machine. These flying machines need to really stand out. We started last time with making some shapes and just gluing them down, but that doesn't really make our flying machine. Today with our black Sharpie, and make sure you get a good one. If it's not a good one, go to the pink table, the supply table, and get a different Sharpie because it's very important that it works. Also remember, go light and slow and they work much better. Now to start, it's kind of like, where do you start? You're looking at this machine. The very first thing I want you to do is inline is the word we're going to be using today, each of your shapes. So normally we outline we go around the edge. Today I want you to actually go inside of the shape. So I have this rectangle shape right here, and I'm actually going to make the lines and the shape again, but inside of the shape. So I'm going to inline this shape, and it helps for it to stand out. I'm going to do the same thing with each and every one of my shapes before I do any details. So do not start adding buttons or chains or gears or anything until we've taken each of our shapes and we have inlined. So just like outlining, but not the word out. We're not using the outside of it. We're going inside the shape. So each of my little shapes here, even the brown and the gray of this, I don't know what this is. This might be a door. This might be a window. I have to decide now that it's the day that we're finishing our flying machines. I have to decide, what is each of these things? How does my machine work? So I think I have this little tower up here. First, I want to inline before I know we get excited and we want to add all of those little details. But I would make sure that I inline each of my shapes. Once this is done, I'm going to start thinking about all of the shapes that we've used this year and that we know. So for example, circles, squares, triangles, and also the different types of lines we know. There are zigzag lines, there are wavy lines, there are like the castle lines that look like the top of a castle. So I'm going to take, if this is a ramp, once I've inlined all my shapes, oh, I almost forgot about my big brown one here. I'm going to leave my wings for another time, just because I don't want you guys to have to wait. So I'm doing my big brown shape. And then I think I've done all my shapes except for my wings. So I am going to then, once I have those done, I'm going to go into each of these shapes and decide what is in here. So this ramp over here, I think the ramp would have stripes. So I'm going to do a bunch of straight lines. And I think this platform under my flying machine is going to have zigzag lines. This is going to be what it looks like. Maybe we stand on this when we come out of our flying machine. So imagine this is actually up in the air. What would you want it to have? I can decide, if we're going to land, and maybe we're going to land on some water, I might have to have wheels or a floaty thing. So maybe it's got to get these big barrel wheels under it that it can land. So they can float maybe if we land on water, or maybe they turn into wheels if we're going to land on like a road. So I'm going to add these, and then not just circles. They're going to look like wheels. I might have little circles inside of them. So today is a great day to get those imaginations going and thinking of all the little details. Maybe my wheels have lines coming off of them, and maybe I want to color them in a little bit. So see the difference between just the basic wheel and adding some details to it. But right now this isn't attached and this isn't attached. So I also need to think about, how is it hanging from chains? So maybe I'm going to do some circles like chains hanging from my airplane or my flying machine, or maybe it also has some beams coming down. So I could do some straight lines. Maybe there's a centerpiece here that's attached, and this we could make some stripes going the other way. So maybe these are almost like steps to get up into my machine. This door, maybe I have a window. If this is my door into my machine. And to make a window, sometimes we can add these diagonal lines that make it look like it's reflecting. We could even add so much detail that we add a little frame around our door. So I'm going to do another line. So many possibilities. Think big and get down a little small. So getting to the point where I am making buttons. So to get into this door, you have to push these buttons. Maybe some of these buttons are circles and some are rectangles. So to get in that door, you got to push these buttons to open it. Here maybe I have another skinny window with some, maybe this is like a vent, so we got some stripes coming. So all different things. I could start thinking about what's in here. And you also want to focus on your wings at some point. So I'm going to inline the upside shape of my wing and get this down. And maybe it's got like a bird's wing, so I'm going to make those long rectangle shapes. You see my wing there? And then you decide, does it have a straight line across? So I can make my wing have a straight line, or sometimes we can make it curved, kind of like a bat's wing. And then is there anything in here? Is there a line connecting it to the main part of the wing? Then I'd want the other wing to match. So there's my wing. You can see the difference between when I started and as I'm building it up. Don't forget to add all those little details. I can't wait to see your flying machines.